Oh God, I'm about to sneeze. Welcome, everyone.
Literally, as soon as I hit live, Jacqueline's like, oh God, I have to sneeze.
This is my life. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome. Jacqueline sneezing at the most inopportune times. That's just.
Although not as bad as what you sent me on Instagram.
Facts.
Shocked that's never happened yet. Thank God.
Oh my God. Okay, so we are here. We are live. We are alive, I guess you could say. Barely alive. Hey, Corey.
Hey, Corey.
So we are really excited to talk to you about this podcast, not necessarily because of the game, but because of our trip. But Jacqueline has some news about what's going on in her apartment currently.
Oh God. Well, yeah. Do you hear this? Jesus. Okay, y'all probably are not going to see a cameo from any of the cats today because they're all currently hiding because I am dog sitting my friend Allie and Ashton's dogs, which Allie has like a, come here, Pancake. Come here. Pancake's a little like, I don't even know. I think she's like a mini Greyhound Chihuahua mix, which if you think that sounds odd, it is. Come here, Cake. Here's Pancake.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Pancake.
And then the big sigh you heard was Goose. Come here, Goose. Goose is a big Irish setter.
Oh, wow.
Well, you see him. Yeah, so it's just another day in the life here with all the animals.
At what point are you able to classify your apartment as a certified zoo? Like, how many animals do you actually have to have in your apartment at one time?
I think we're close. I think we're almost there.
Those poor cats are going to not have a good weekend.
You know, actually, McGonagall really likes Goose. It just takes him a little while to warm up.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll probably be snuggling on the couch, but the other cats don't like them.
I love it. I gotta love it. Gotta love it. But you're really sweet for watching your friends two dogs, along with your own animals. Yeah.
Only 2 nights. So
yeah, that's really nice of you. Again, in your tiny little apartment. Well, it's not tiny, but you know,
for this many animals, it's a little small.
Correct. Yeah. Anyway, so let's dive right into talk about our WACVegas adventures. We don't have a lot of time to kind of diddle daddle with random stuff. So let's just dive right in. So obviously, like you probably saw on all of the platforms, all of the social medias, we were in WACVegas. Duh. We went on Wednesday and came back on basically Tuesday morning at 3 a.m. We finally made it back to Jacqueline's apartment in Tyler. It was a long travel day on Monday with not many delays, but just one major delay that kind of made us extremely late getting home to East Texas. So anyway, we get there on Wednesday. Yeah, we went to Vegas, Corey. It was a great time. We really enjoyed it. It was, we hung out with a couple cool people, a couple of not so cool people. I'm just kidding. We're not going to talk about everything, Corey. There are going to be some things that are kept to ourselves, but we're just going to give a quick overview of what we did during this time period. Yeah. So like I said, we got there on Wednesday, enjoyed a lovely meal at Guy Fieri's, a little restaurant there at our hotel. We stayed at the Link, which is, if you don't know what the Link is, it's really not hard to find. It's literally the hotel with the huge ass Ferris wheel. That's the easiest way to describe it on the Strip. And so we enjoyed a nice little early dinner. I had a humongous mac and cheese burger, and I think Jacqueline had a turkey burger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we ate and then basically just kind of like hung out. And then we actually went to get our credentials. We had our media credentials, and we went and actually watched what game was that? I don't even remember.
We watched Abilene Christian play Utah Valley to see who we were going to play.
That's right. That's right. Okay. I was like, I know we went and saw a game. I just don't remember who was playing. But yes, okay. Which was fun and exciting. Saw some people again. We in passing past one of the New Mexico State fans who follows us on Twitter, which was really nice. So met him momentarily. I just would like to say the Orleans Arena whole environment there it's a great spot. Obviously it'd be nicer if it was closer to the Strip, so that way we wouldn't have to like Uber there 35 times. But at the same time, it's still a nice little arena. I mean, it's a good size. It fit everybody nicely. It was ran well by the WAC, by all the administration and the WAC. That's what I thought. I thought it was nice. It was a decent spot. Like I said, I wish it was closer to where we were staying, but that was just a personal choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been nice.
Huh?
It would have been nice.
Would have been nice. It would have been nice. But yeah, so the trip to begin was really good. We had a nice time on Wednesday. We probably went to bed a little too early. That sounds weird, but like we totally passed out. I don't know what happened, what was going on. I think we just were super tired from traveling, and then we went out, and then we literally went to bed super early, and that was not expected for the first night in Vegas. And so Thursday obviously was the game. So at that point, our Uber Andy was in town, and he got there, and we basically went to this amazing brunch. If you've ever had brunch at the Wicked Spoon in the Cosmo, if you haven't, you have to go immediately next time you go to Vegas. Like that is the first place you go for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We went for breakfast, but it was basically like brunch because we had bottomless mimosas. Wicked Spoon pretty much has every meal you could absolutely think of.
Yeah, they have like breakfast items, lunch, dinner items, all different types of cuisine. I mean, they had Mediterranean food. They had like Southern food. They had Asian food. They had everything you could think of.
Crab legs.
I think I had like a gyro macaroni. I had some pancakes with fried chicken and syrup. I had some kind of like Mexican-y chicken. It was like a cilantro sauce. It was really good.
Literally a little bit of everything. And so love Wicked Spoon. That was the second time I went. I went last year as well, and enjoyed the food then, and I enjoyed it at this time as well. I mean, they had the dessert bar of your dreams, basically, all the desserts you can think of, cookies, cakes, gelato, you name it, it was there. So we enjoyed, we were there for what, probably at least 2 to 3 hours, maybe. I don't even know how long it was.
Hours, I think.
Yeah, it felt like we were there for forever. But anyway, so we really enjoyed our little breakfast / again, brunch with Andy and Nick, and then just kind of hung out a little bit, relaxed a little bit, and then went and what did we do after that? We just kind of hung out and then went to get ready for the game, right?
Yeah, we went back to Andy's room for a while, kind of hung out on the balcony. It was a really nice day.
Mm-hmm.
Watched some golf, which I was against.
We went downstairs at one point to the chandelier bar. That's what we did. We did something else. Like I know we did something else. Okay, yeah. Went to the chandelier bar, then went and got changed and stuff in order to go to the pregame party at the Orleans Hotel for SFA, which was at the Bollowick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bollowick pub. Had some dinner there. Bless you. Had some dinner there, enjoyed a little pregame meal. I enjoyed my dinner. Jacqueline and Andy had the same thing, and they didn't like theirs, but
it wasn't the best.
That's what you get for eating pasta at a pub. Yeah,
in hindsight, it wasn't the best option, but we were both trying to really, you have to yawn that loudly while I'm talking. We were trying to carb load to prepare for our night of shenanigans. So it was good thinking. It just didn't deliver. But anyway.
You had good intentions. It just wasn't that great of a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goose is chilling in the background.
Yeah, he's just photobombing away. It's fine.
Love it. Anyway, so fast forward to the game. we'll talk about the game in a second, but we're just gonna I'm gonna fast forward through the rest of our Vegas vacation. Obviously, went to the game, got the L. But after the game, we went to pretty much immediately went to the nightclub. We went back to Andy's hotel, hung out there for just a second, and then we tried to ask him if we needed to change clothes. So we were still in our SFA like gear. Me and my SFA t-shirt. Jacqueline was in her cheerleading top that she had bought at the homecoming auction. And we try to ask Andy like 5 times, like, do we need to go change? Is this like a really fancy nightclub? Like, do we need to look cute? Is there a dress code? Whatever. And he kept saying, no. Which there really wasn't a dress code, but it probably would have made more sense if we did.
Yeah. It was literally the most annoying conversation ever, though, because there was so much back and forth of, well, do you want to go change? And we're like, just tell us. Well, yeah, go ahead and change. But no, you should just go ahead and come. We'll just all go together. Well, but what if – anyway, it was so frustrating. Sorry, love Andy. But that was like the biggest deliberation to try to figure out. And we had brought all these cute outfits that we wanted to wear. But anyway.
We did. And in hindsight, we should have changed because that would have turned out to be our one like club night. We had planned and were told that we were going to have many of those nights, but it really just kind of shoved all into one because since the guys lost, Uber Andy left early. And so we didn't get to go out and do as many nightclub, club type atmosphere things that we had planned on going to do. So that we literally just shoved all of the nightclub experience into one night on Thursday night after the game. And let me tell you, I mean, we didn't get back to our hotel room until like what, 4:30, almost 5 o'clock.
It was like 4 something, yeah.
In the morning, yes. In the
and we were the first ones to leave, so
yeah, I know. Anyway, so we had a really good time at Zook. As soon as we got there, first of all, any place that has like 2 levels of security to get you into the damn door, and then you have to get like personally escorted to your VIP booth, you know it's going to be a crazy cool place. So we get there, and not only do we have to get bag checked and ID'd, 1 stamp, then we have to go and the boys got wanded, and we got bag checked, and that's another level of security, another stamp. So we get 2 stamps on our arms. And then once our entire group got through that, then they had to lead us through the absolute, it
was like a maze.
A sheer maze and just group of people just smacked like sardines into this nightclub. And I was like, where were they leading us? Like, I didn't know where we were going, but we were literally having to like hold hands and do like a hand chain so that we didn't lose our entire group as they were like bobbing and weaving us through this maze of people and VIP booths. Finally, we get to our booth. And then that's when it all goes downhill.
The party started. Welcome, George, to Zook.
Welcome to George. Yeah, welcome, George, to Zook. So yeah, it was a wild night. So there was a DJ playing when we got there, but what we didn't realize, or what I didn't realize and put 2 and 2 together, was that there was an actual, like, people had purchased tickets to this damn night at Zook for a DJ that's like a popular EDM DJ to go see this guy play, or these guys play. Slander. Had never heard of them before in my life. And so, yeah, I mean, they're very popular at EDM. So if you listen to EDM, I'm sure you've heard of them, but we don't listen to EDM, so we didn't know. And so it's not Jacqueline's type of music. I didn't give it. I was fucking vibe. I was vibing. I just didn't care. Because Andy started doing all these bottle services. You got broads dancing with bottles of tequila and bottles of whatever the heck was being ordered. And it was just an absolute time. I've never experienced anything like that in my life.
Me either.
Not to that magnitude. Like, yeah, of course I've been to like nightclubs and bars and stuff, but nothing like what that was. It was the most wild experience. Just everything. So we're like literally right by the stage, first of all, our original booth. And then once like halfway through the Slander's set, we get to go up on the stage because there was another VIP booth that was like bigger and more space on the stage right next to the DJ booth. And I was like, oh shit. And I'm short, you know, not the skinniest bitch. And so all the people are like jumping up onto the stage over the railing, getting up into the new VIP booth. And I was like, I took one look at that and I was like, ain't no way I'm going to get my ass up there. Ain't no way. So I told one of the bouncers, I was like, I'm going to need you to walk my ass around because there ain't no way that these short legs and this fat ass are jumping up over the thing. Ain't going to happen, sunshine. So, yeah.
You know, in retrospect, they should have just walked us all around because it would have been.
It would have just been much easier and less of a calamity / chance for people to fall over and get hurt.
And plus, it was so loud in there. We miss you too, Caitlin. It was so loud that at first, when they just started telling us to go up there, I didn't understand if we were completely relocating up there or if we were just going up there for a moment. So I'm like, do I need to bring
my shit with me? And plus, I had your jacket, my jacket, your purse, my purse, and I think someone else's jacket or purse. I'm like, do I need to bring all of this shit with me? Finally, we figured it out. But anyway.
Very confusing, but we finally got up there.
But it was a time. It was a time. It was wild. Had a really good time. Drinks were good. Our little waitress that had no tits and pasties was great. Yeah, but she was a nice girl. She kept asking if I was having fun, if the drinks were good, and I said, "Yeah, you're doing great. Keep."
She was
nice. She was super sweet.
And you know what? Andy was not wrong that, like, with the amounts of oxygen that they pump in there, like, you really don't get tired. Because I thought by that I would be dead, and I was like wide awake. Couldn't have told you it was 3:30 a.m. Like
literally, when the lights started coming on, and as soon as I left to go to the bathroom, right at the end, as soon as the set was done, I was like, I looked down at my watch and my phone. I was like, it's 3:30. What? I could go for 4 more hours. Like I could go till the sun came up. So you're right, 100%. I mean, maybe we should just continue. Maybe we should just like keep oxygen with us, like anywhere we go, so that way we can just go all night.
Because I mean, I could have stayed up for several more hours. The only reason that we called it, and Alex can attest to this, is I was like, it's 4 a.m. and the ladies play at noon, so like 8 hours till game time. Like I can't stay out and get less than like 4 hours of sleep and get up for this game. Like it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, this is our first night out in Vegas for Alex and I. I mean, it was Andy's second night, but I'm like, we don't have to cram all of Vegas into one night. Like we got like 4 more nights. Let's just call it a night. But I think Andy knew he was going to have to cut his trip short because, you know, he's got a wife and kiddos at home and no more guys games. So I think he was trying to cram all of Vegas into one night, and I was not. I was like, we got more nights to go. But
right.
Now it makes sense.
It made sense now. Yeah. If we would have known then what we knew after the fact, then I'm like, okay, fine. Let's all cram it into one night. But yeah, no, but it was still a fun time. I was laughing. I was just vibing the whole night, the whole time we were there. I'm like, yeah. I was like, I don't know what song's happening. I don't know what the fuck we're listening to. I didn't care. I was just sitting on the VIP booth up on the little ledge there, just like drinking my drink and just doing this the whole time. Yeah. And I looked like an absolute dumpster fire because I had my hair down for the game and then I had it in the little piggies and it was starting to give me a headache once we got in there. And I was like, I can't get a headache in this place because I'll never survive. So I took them out and then put space buns in. And then I was like headbanging. And then the space buns started like going all which ways and falling. And I was like, I look like a hot mess express. And then I had on, the SFA shirt. All these other bitches has like cute jackets and shirts and tank and just they're dressed all cute. And then you have me in a damn t-shirt and leggings. I was like, yeah. And then we're the ones in the VIP booth.
I know, right? Slouchiest ones in there. And we're
literally looked like I just rolled out of like bed and came to the fucking nightclub. And we're the ones in the nicest VIP booth.
And I looked like I cheered a game and then came up there. So
exactly. It was just it was the funniest experience. I was just having a good time. I was just laughing, drinking my drinks, enjoying the moment. Because not often can you have that nice of an experience in a Vegas nightclub on our salary. No. Anyway, so after that, we, like Jacqueline said, we had woke up for the girls game the next day, which of course we won. and then went to the next, game on Saturday, the championship game. We sat on the court for both of those games, and that was a nice time. That was good. That was fun. Really enjoyed that. Glad we were there for that. And we were able to stay throughout the weekend. That way we could go to those games and watch the girls win, which was, again, nice to celebrate with them. They deserve it. Kicking ass, taking names. And yeah, we just had a nice time. The rest of the time we were kind of just did more touristy stuff, things that Jacqueline had never been to Vegas. So there were things that she wanted to see, like go to the Vegas sign. And, we had a nice dinner last night there at Spago.
Yeah, we went to Wolfgang Puck's restaurant, and it was worth all of the many pennies that we paid for it, but it was worth it.
It was worth it. It was delicious. And that's what our background is. That was our fancy night out over there by the Bellagio fountains. And we took a picture. We had one of the waiters take a picture of us, and the fountains were actually going off during the picture. So it was a really cool spot to take a picture. So yeah, had a really nice time. All in all, had a great time. Obviously, wish we would have been able to come back on Monday at our normal time, but there was bad weather in Texas. And so we were delayed a few hours, basically. And then even a little bit longer than what we had thought once we got to Dallas.
It was the longest travel day. And
it was really long.
I've traveled internationally and had layovers and delays. And this was still one of the longest travel days I've ever had my entire life, because we got hold on. It was on our layover, right? Yeah, in Austin. They told us we're going to be delayed for 2 hours. Well, then I go wander off for food, which, mind you, I paid $20 for a cold sandwich and a Gatorade and chips, but I digress.
I digress.
At that point, I was just like, because nothing was open in the restaurant, which it was like 9 p.m. I'm like, why is everything closed? Anyway.
That also confuses me too. It's like, it's a airport. It's open 24/7, 365. You should have a restaurant or something open, hot food all the time.
And that's what I was thinking too, is like, I'm not saying that every restaurant has to be open 24 hours, but they could do a cycle of having one, like a rotation of having at least just one open. Anyways.
I agree.
Then after less than an hour, they're like, oh, never mind. Go ahead and get on the plane, even though we told you you're going to be sitting here 2 hours. So like, I didn't even have my phone with me. Thank God I have my Apple Watch, because Alex like texting me like, come back, we're boarding. I'm back over there. We rushed onto the plane to sit on the plane for an hour.
Yes.
Then we finally take off. At the time they told us we're going to take off, so they could have just let us sit there. But anyways, then probably the longest wait I've ever had for baggage, like 45 minutes at least.
Oh yeah, that was wild. Yeah. I mean,
by the time we left, it was like midnight probably, I think. And then what should have been like a 2-hour drive was like 3 hours plus, because it was the foggiest conditions I've ever seen in my entire life, the entire drive.
Yeah.
So I was driving like 50 and a 70 because I couldn't see more than 2 car lengths in front of me, and there were deer everywhere.
Yeah, poor thing. She couldn't see. She couldn't. I mean, I've driven through really thick fog, and the fog was pretty thick. But normally, when you're driving through fog, like it's only thick for like, maybe half a mile or a mile, and then it's gone. Like you're done with the fog. No, it was foggy the entire way home. Like she said, it was. I've never seen that much fog in my life. It was wild.
Yeah. So we got about less than 4 hours of sleep, and then got up and I drove Alex back to NAC to get Gabby and do my weekly status Zoom for work at 10 a.m. So yeah, it was a long day. Then I came back and spent most of the day deep cleaning my apartment, because the cats were here for 6 days without anyone. So
yeah, so that was pretty much our trip summed up in the easiest way possible that we could portray it. And if you saw our snaps and saw our posts and stuff while we were there, then you kind of know what was going on. But anyway, so yeah.
And we got to hang out some with Maria, David's girlfriend, and her mom, Ruba, and David and his dad, Bob, and his brother, Matt. We got to meet up one night with our boy AB, who used to work at us. Hang out with him some, because his new school, Boise, is in the Mountain West, and they were playing their tournament there too. So yeah, all in all, we got to have some fun.
And of course, we hung out with Corey. Don't forget Corey. Yeah.
Well, his trip kind of overlapped ours, and he went and did some crazy things without us, but we did make the most of it while he was there. So
yeah, we did. But yeah, it was a fun trip. We're excited for next year. We'll now we kind of know what to expect in regards to games and 6 days in Vegas is a lot. I mean, I'll even say that because that last time I was in Vegas, I was there for about 5 days. And after 5 days, I was done. And so sweet spot's about 3 to 4, but that's hard when it's a tournament. When you don't know exactly when you're playing, what times, and you have to book your travel ahead of time so that you're not paying out the butthole. So it's just hard. And yeah, when you're trying to do it on a budget, we're just going for whatever's the cheapest there and back flights, whether if it's 5 days or 6 days. We don't know. Anyway, so let's get to talking about the game. So that was our trip. Let's talk about the game. Not going to be the most lengthy discussion about the game because we just, the season's over. We're going to play in the CBI. We're not going to dwell on this last game. Yeah, it sucked and it stunk, but what are you going to do? It's over. Done with. We're still WAC regular season champs, co-champs. So
that we are. Okay, so we of course played Abilene Christian. Going into that game, they were 9-6 in WAC play. They were number 6 seed. Their first game, they beat number 7 Utah Valley, which is the game that Alex and I went to Wednesday night. They won 82-74. Then they, of course, beat us, which we were number 3. They beat us 76-62 on Thursday. Then on Friday, they beat number 2 Seattle U by 2 points. And then Saturday in the championship game, which was their 4th game in 4 days, they lost to number 1 New Mexico State 66-52. So, of course, I mean, we were pulling for them to – I mean, happy to see New Mexico State win because obviously they won their first game in the tournament, looked really strong. But, we have a little personal connection, the ACU, so we were pulling for them. That was just – it was too many games and too many days, and New Mexico State is really strong, so it was just too much. But anyhow, okay, so our starters – the usual starters last several games, Gavin, David, Calvin, Trell, and Derek. We did lose 76-62. The attendance there at the Orleans Arena for that game was 2,623. You want me to go ahead and go on into the stats since we're not really doing WAC standings for any purpose? All right.
Yep. WAC standings are over.
So our overall field goal percentage was not too good at 35.3%. Our 3-point percentage, also not super fantastic at 27.8%. Our free throw percentage was, dare I say, one of the highest, if not the highest, of the season at 87.5%. Points in the paint, this is one of the areas where we really hurt, only 22. We had 20 points off of turnovers, only 9 second chance points, 11 fast break points, 21 bench points. We did out-rebound them. Our total rebounds were 32, out-rebounding them by 5. Our offensive boards were 11 and defensive boards were 21. We had 23 fouls, 22 turnovers. They had only 15 turnovers. We had 5 steals and 6 blocks. Goose, shush, honey. Our game leader was Gavin with 15 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks, 2 steals. Solid little performance. David and Jalen each had 9 points. David had 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and Jalen had 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. And then I do want to give a little shout out to our highest rebounders after Gavin was Derek with 5 and Day Day with 4. And that's our stats. So rolling into feats of strength, mine are, a lot of it's trip related. There's just a few that I wanted to mention for the game because, again, the game wasn't the best. So main one for the game, though, is going to be the bench points, at 21 points. Most of those coming from, Jalen and, of course, Nana with 6 points as well.
not too many bench points, or not too many points in the paint, which is wild to me, but I'll talk about that later. I mean, I'm not surprised though, but yeah. So Abilene Christian, they had multiple players or only 2 players in double digits, but we did cause them 15 turnovers, which I thought was good. Just wish that we didn't have as many, but there's that. Let's see, what else? Other positives from the game itself. Of course, Gavin with the 15 points, 7 rebounds, very close to a double-double, but just not there yet. Also, we had he did really well on his free throws, 7 of 8. And then, of course, our free throw percentage was pretty freaking great. I just wish the rest of our percentages were as good as our free throw percentage. I mean, multiple players were 100% from free throws. Nana, Derek, exactly, yeah. So we had a lot of players who were 100% from free throws and/or just missed one. So free throws is a high point for me. Bench points were a high point for me. And just overall, the experience of WAC Vegas was an overall high point for me. I think, even though the guys didn't win, I just think the experience itself was really just a fun time. It was cool to meet people that we had talked with on social media. Finally met Kyle, went down and sat in media row with him at the championship guys game. Enjoyed doing that. Talking with other people that we had conversed with and talked with on Instagram and Twitter, most of them from New Mexico. So it was just a really cool New Mexico State. Excuse me, Jesus, don't want to get dragged. But yeah, my other feats of strength is the girls' game. Watching them win, being on the floor both times was really fun and exciting. Shout out to the hospitality suite as well. They had really good food for us to munch on and nibble on during the games. They also provided, drinks and waters and things like that. So shout out to the WAC, and also for getting us our media passes. That was really fun. We appreciate that as well. Enjoy that. Just really excited for next year to do it again, to go back, and hopefully men come out with a different result, and the girls continued their dominance in the WAC would be great as well. So just a really fun experience. I cannot wait to do it again. We obviously wish we could be either at the girls or the guys games in the tournaments that are happening right now, but being in the Vegas for 6 days, there's just no way that we could afford to go to either one of those, either Tucson or the men's and Daytona.
Daytona, yeah.
So yeah.
Would have been a little much. Wish we could, but
wish we could afford it. It just impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. So
the overall experience was just really fun. I'll give a few good game notes, the few that we have, and then I'll do some general ones. But I will say we did start off so strong at the very, very beginning of the game.
Very true.
Right off the tip, Big Game Dave with a 3. Then the very next possession down the court, Gavin gets a steal, pass to David for a layup to give us a 5-0 lead. And I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. And just didn't last for long. But
no.
Like you said, free throw percentage, awesome. Solid performance from Gavin, almost a double-double, like you said. David and Jalen both with the 9 points. Jalen had a really solid game across the board, and Derek and Day with all the rebounds was nice. Almost everyone got a little bit of playing time, all the usual players who we do see. So that was nice. And then just overall, we really did, and Alex and I discussed this with Bob one day at lunch, but the guys really did have a very tough schedule this season. So that's something noteworthy to mention, because I don't really think a lot of people really realize what a tough season we did have. And so by the end, I mean, it gets tiring because we played South Dakota State, we played Buffalo, we played Liberty, St. Louis, Louisiana Monroe, the Kansas game. And that was all just non-conference games. Then, we joined a brand new conference that we had no idea how we were going to do in. We, I think, had tried to realistically prepare ourselves to not be on top like we normally are. And then, by God, we finished with a share of the regular season title.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more. I'm glad you mentioned that too. I mean, we, at the beginning of this season, even before this season started, as soon as we moved to the WAC, I mean, Jacqueline and I had a realistic conversation too, saying like, there's an absolutely good chance that we're not going to finish at the top of the pack this year, just because it's a new conference. The competition's a lot stronger. And of course, we are going into this conference season with, of course, we have 3 returning seniors, which was great, but also a lot of new guys, and then also a whole new coaching staff minus Keller. So it was just like, it was going to be a crapshoot. We weren't sure how it was going to go. We were optimistic. We were hopeful for the best, but also prepared for the worst too. So it was just a absolute, sheer, I'm not going to say sheer luck, but I mean, that last 11-game win streak at the end of the season, just out of nowhere, was fantastic and in the best possible way. And so, but we weren't expecting it, but we were very thankful and happy for it too. So, I mean, it was just a wild season from start to finish. There were a lot of games that I wish we could have back, including the tournament game. But it's almost virtually impossible to play the same team 3 times in a season and win all 3 times.
Well, and that was my last note is, ACU is such a tough team, and we barely beat them both of the times we beat them in the regular season. So
literally like almost buzzer beaters both times. Like at the very end of the game, we just barely narrowly just beat them narrowly every single time. They're like the mirror image of us almost in every single way when it comes to offensive strategy, defensive strategy. They are almost exactly the same as us, and it's really hard to play ourselves. Like, I'm sorry, like it's just hard, especially 3 times in a season. It's very difficult to do 3 times in a season.
Going into the tournament, that was literally the first thing my dad said when he saw the bracket. Is he's like, I just don't want to end up with ACU because we've barely scraped it by twice, and I just don't know if we'll get lucky to do it 3 times.
Exactly.
Sure
and exactly. And I mean, it was almost like it was hard because I was battling against myself. I was trying to think, whenever we were watching the ACU game when they were playing Utah Valley, I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, who do we want? Like, do we want a ACU team that by the time they've gotten to us had played 2 games, they may be tired, they may be kind of lethargic.
They'd only played 1. We were the second game. They'd only played 1.
Ours would be the second, like that have, might have tired legs, don't know. Or do we want to play, Utah Valley, similar situation, but we only played them 1 time this season. Yeah. Not twice. And we were able to successfully kind of snuff out their main player when they played us. So I was like, who do we want? I don't know. So anyway, it was tough to watch that game just because, I mean, obviously we did not play our best, which kind of leads us into the grievances.
With the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it. You.
So obviously there's a lot of things I can grieve about and be upset about, but there's nothing I can do about it now. Obviously the season's over, regular season's over, tournament's over. Now they're in postseason play in a tournament. So the main issue I had with this game was we just looked the beginning was great. Like Jacqueline mentioned earlier, like we started off strong. It was looking good. And then I don't know what happened, where the time of death was, but it was in the first half. Something happened in that first half that from ever since that point on, we just looked tired, lethargic. I mean, we weren't getting anything. Like our shots were not falling and theirs were. Simple as that. You know, they were killing us on defense, absolutely murdering us on defense. I mean, they caused 22 turnovers. We had fouls out the rear. David fouled out, which that's a whole nother story that we have. Calvin was at 4. You had Nana at 3. You had Day Day at 3. You had Gavin at 3. You had Trell at 3. I mean, we had 23 personal fouls, but so did they. So I can't really bitch too much other than the fact that David fouled out, which is really funny because didn't David talk to his girlfriend about fouling out in this last game? Didn't she tell us about that?
I can't remember.
I think I don't remember if it was the night before whenever we found out we were playing ACU that I think she had said, she goes, if we play ACU, David's like, I'm going to foul out in this game. I know it. And he did because, again, that's why the fouling is so high because we both play such intense defense.
Yeah.
And so it's to be expected. People are going to foul, and there's going to be a ton of fouls, and someone most likely is going to foul out. And just happened to be David. So other things to obviously talk about were our shots. Our shots were not falling. I mean, Trell, I love you, babe, but you were 2 of 7 from the 3. Jalen, 2 of 6 from the 3. Just not good. Not good. Ugh, it was just bad. Jalen was also 2 of 9, just field goals too. I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's similar, but just total 2 of 9. We only had 22 points in the paint. That is disastrous. Absolutely disastrous. We have said this all year, that if we don't have at least 30 to 40 points in the paint or more, chances are we're not going to win the game.
Yep.
So they shut down our post player. They shut down, Gavin. They shut down Nana. They shut down. I mean, we were just not getting anything in the paint. Nothing. And again, you want to beat us? We're telling you that's how you beat us. Just they did their preparation. They did their research. They watched film. They saw what had happened the past couple games that we played them. They knew what to do. And for some reason, I don't know what point it was in that first half. I couldn't pinpoint it one specific time. Maybe Jacqueline knows, but something happened and we just continually faltered from there. And we just got into a hole points-wise, and we could not dig ourselves out. Couldn't. Not even in the second half when we're a second-half team. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, my overall grievance, and I mean this just, you don't even have to be good at math. We're not good at math, and this tells you all you need to know. We shot only 35.3% from the field, and they shot 53%, and we only took 2 more shots than them. So, I mean, we're taking almost the same amount of shots, and we're only making 35%. They're making 53%.
There you go.
Then from the 3-point line, we shot 27, and they shot 46. So again, not hard math. We just weren't making shots. Started off very strong, and then the shots weren't falling, and I don't know when exactly the wheels fell off, but we just lost steam. And not related to our play, but major grievance. The ESPN app, I will complain about it again. It is the absolute worst. It is the worst. Like, I literally, not that I probably even really wanted to rewatch the game, so maybe it's like a little hidden surprise, but
guys, yeah.
I didn't rewatch this game because I literally did not have time today, because when I started watching it, and you can ask Alex because I Snapchatted to her, I mean, I would get like 5 seconds of playing time and then like 3 to 4 seconds of buffering. 5 seconds of playtime, 3 to 4 seconds of buffering. And I'm like, I can't do this. I mean, it would have taken me as long as the game actually took in real life to replay it back, even fast forwarding through the commercials because of all the buffering. So I just scrolled through the stats and the game notes, and most of our game notes were subs, missed shots, or turnovers, which doesn't make for a win.
No, it doesn't. And I mean, again, we're the biggest fans of this team through and through, good and bad. But I mean, a freaking toddler could have seen that it was just not going to go our way. Like literally as soon as halftime, I just kind of sat down and I was like, all right, well, we're just going to enjoy the rest of this game, just being here and just experiencing the moment, because it's just not going to go our way. It's just the game was not going our way. And that happens. It happens. You know? March is wild. You know, anybody can win. Doesn't matter who it is. And, of course, there's always next year, of course. I mean, again, there's no sour grapes here towards the team. Just didn't go our way. I have no qualms or ill will towards any of the teams. ACU just went on a run. They were hot in the tournament, and that happens. It happens. You know, you have a lower seed who just absolutely just gets on a roll and is on fire, and there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. And that's just how it goes. Same thing in the NCAA tournament. We're seeing right now lower seeds are kicking higher seeds' butt.
Yep. There have been some good upsets so far.
Exactly. I mean, Kentucky got shocked and surprised and upset. I mean, St. Peter, who the
love to see it.
Love to see it.
I don't know about y'all, but I love to see it.
Exactly. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm not mad at all. Obviously, in the moment, I was disappointed. I'm sure along with the rest of Jack Nation and I'm sure the team as well. They were probably disappointed in themselves, but it's going to happen. I do have one funny story. During the nightclub night on Thursday, Jacqueline, I'm sure remembers this. So one of the guys in our group started talking to a girl. Yeah. Okay. And this is my final grievance. Was talking to a girl, and all of a sudden I heard her say something about like, oh, well, take the L, like you fucking lost and you suck. And I turned around and I looked at her and I was like, excuse the out of me. I'm sorry. Where did that come from? Apparently this broad was an ACU fan out of nowhere. And I'm like, she did not just freaking just sit down here drinking our drinks and our liquor and start bitching and calling us losers when, bitch, you're sitting here drinking our liquor at the VIP table.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's my grievance. Listen, for future references, if you want to like sidle your way into a VIP booth and drink their booze, maybe don't talk shit to them about the game they just lost. Maybe. Because I was like, you know what? I'm ready to get in a fight tonight. Like,
me too. Literally, I literally, if she didn't move her fat ass, and again, out of the way, this is all I did. I honestly just kept creeping closer to her, and then I just started dancing and shoving my butt in her face until she felt uncomfortable enough to get the fuck out. Because I'm sorry, you're not going to sit down next to me where I'm sitting with my friends and start talking shit about my team while you're drinking our booze. That is not going to happen. That is not going to happen under my watch, and I will make you feel uncomfortable as fuck, or I will say something and then most likely get kicked out of this nightclub because then I'm going to fucking start swinging. I'm sorry. You don't do that shit. You just don't do that. Like, why win the game and then start talking shit to other people? Shouldn't you just be celebrating and not worrying about what other people are doing?
And you know what? Us in ACU, I feel like have a very friendly, like, rapport.
It's like in front of me.
So it was very unwarranted, I felt like.
We didn't even say anything to her.
Dude,
like,
y'all. Like, we kind of get along pretty well because two of the coaches are from SFA. So, like,
yeah.
There's absolutely no bad blood. Like, we cheered for them so hard last year when they made it to the tournament.
We did. We were very excited for them. And then we even cheered for them in the final game versus New Mexico State. And it wasn't, again, anything against New Mexico State necessarily. We just were cheering for ACU because we have ties to the team. We have no ties to New Mexico State. So we were cheering for the team we had ties for. Simple as that. Simple as that. Two personal connections. One of our great friends, Antonio, which we had on the podcast, is a coach. And then Brett Tanner used to coach at SFA too. So again, like, these are connections that New Mexico State doesn't have for us. So I'm sorry. Like, that's who we were cheering for.
Yeah. And I thought it was wild that she came and talked shit since we don't not get along with them. I was just like, what are you?
I was fine with ACU, winning. Like, I was like, all right, they have the better team. So be it. Fine. Whatever. said nothing to nobody. As we were leaving the game, I was like, congrats, good game. You guys deserve that dub. Have a nice day on our merry way. This just came out of nowhere, left field. And I was like, why? Like, we're over here just enjoying the music and drinking a drink. Like, you didn't have to come over here, plop your ass down next to us and just start talking shit. Like, that's not how this works, babe.
Yeah.
Now, if I started something and I said something, then that's different. But I didn't.
Right. He quickly found his way over to a different VIP booth. So
yeah, with some other dude's tongue down her throat. Anyway, I digress. So one word to sum up the entire game/trip. So I wrote 2, one for the game, one for the trip. So my game word was shite. It just wasn't great. It was kind of shite. Wasn't the best. I love the boys. You are my favorites. I love you so much, but it was shite. The trip itself, badass. Had a great time. Enjoyed it. Glad Jacqueline got to enjoy her first time in Vegas. Had fun with our friends. Good time.
Yeah, so my word for the game was deflated because I just kind of felt like, it just took the wind out of our sails. It was a little deflating, and it was like we've said already in this episode. We had a great season, so I'm not basing the whole season off this one game. Obviously, the one that happens to matter the most, but all the other ones build up to that. And we had a great season. We had a really tough schedule. We got to do some really cool things. We got to go to Kansas, which was a bucket list item for me. Right. We got some really great wins. We were surprised by some players that we just didn't know, hadn't seen play before. Jalen, Day-Day, and Derek, all 3, super, super impressive that we had no idea what to expect because we never seen them play. So it was a great season, but we won it for the guys too. And it was, it's always sad. We don't want it to end like that for them. And I felt so bad for David that he fouled out because I'm sure he felt bad, but it is what it is. And some games that wasn't going to change the outcome of that game. So that's that. The word for me for the trip, I think I would just say wild. It was Vegas. Like, I should just say Vegas. But like Alex said, we had fun with so many people. We got to hang out with Corey a good bit. We got to hang out with Andy for about 24 hours. Nick got to hang out with Bob a lot, Maria and Ruba a lot. Got to hang out with David and Matt a little bit. So we had a good time. And I don't know. We kind of said we feel like Bob and Maria and Ruba and David and Matt and them are all just kind of like family now. Like it's like the SFA men's basketball family. Like we love the guys. We love hanging out with them and their families. And
yeah, absolutely love the Cowboys family. Love them so much. Like, yeah, like I feel like we're just kind of part of their family now. Like, kind of didn't ask for it, but we are now.
Here we are.
We are. Like, they're great. They're super sweet, so nice, very welcoming. Like, again, where else do you get to hang out the whole day with one of the players' dads? Like, we literally just hung out with Bob all day Sunday, basically. Had lunch, went touristy, walked around with him, went to the fabulous Las Vegas sign with him. I mean, they were staying in a hotel, so it was easy to meet up with them different nights. And so, like, it was just fun. It was fun, What Power 5 school, Power 6 school, can you say that you were able to hang out with the players, hang out with their families, text them, have their numbers in your phone, be around them, hang out with them outside of basketball stuff? Like, how many people can say that they do that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Which makes it all that much harder to say goodbye to them once they're gone. When they graduate, when they move on, it sucks. Like, I wished we would have had this relationship with them earlier on so that we could be with them. But at the same time, it probably would have been even harder to say goodbye, especially since they live so far away in PA. It stinks. But I know where they live now, and we're going to freaking go up there because my family's from PA. So we're going to come up there, and we're going to visit you guys.
Definitely going to make a trip. I forgot one last good thing about the trip. Also, I'm really glad that we did. I mean, we've been doing this podcast for 4 years, and we've never once thought about applying for media credentials, even though we are media. It's just never crossed our mind. Like, we just don't think about it that way.
No.
And Daryl told us, "Why don't
Daryl, yeah,
media credentials?" And so we're like, "Oh shit, duh." So we did, and we got them, and we kind of eased in this trip, I feel like, on actually like using them.
yeah.
So we only went sat in the media section once. We didn't go into any of the press conferences, but I think next year we'll kind of feel like confident enough and have our bearings to go in there and ask some questions and like really get into it. And I think it'll be fun. And we got to meet, Kyle in person finally. We got to like Alex said, a few of our followers. Say that again. Sorry.
We met Bill. He's also a New Mexico State guy who does stuff for their team. And then randomly, the assistant athletic director for New Mexico came up and introduced himself to us.
Yeah.
And he was like, I see you guys on Twitter all the time. Just wanted to come up and say hi. I'm like, okay.
I mean, we felt semi-famous. Like,
I was like, and hello. He was like, yeah, I'm the assistant athletic director, whatever if that means shit around here. I was like, what? He was a trip. I wish I would remember his name. We'll have to look it up and look him up and try and find him on Twitter. It was just funny. It was just a funny little moment. I was just like, hi. Anyway.
And that's the last good thing I'll say is I feel like really when we were, and we've discussed this, I can't remember if we discussed it with Bob or if I discussed it with my dad. Anyway, it's all blurring together.
It's all blurring together, yeah.
But I feel like in the Southland, there just wasn't that much engagement between schools and fans and whatnot. It was really kind of just us, Cat fans, and then the NSU Demons account, really.
Yeah.
The only ones who got in the mix. But I feel like with the WAC, we've just made so many connections with Kyle and with Daryl and then with all these people on Twitter that follow their schools. And I just feel like there's a lot more like engagement back and forth. And that's been really, really cool. And we had even like a few New Mexico State fans reach out to us on Twitter before we went, which y'all know I don't get on the Twitter as much. So I'm not familiar with these people. But one very nice lady messaged us and said, I bought pass for the whole tournament, but I'm not going to get there until whatever day. So if y'all want to use my tickets before then, let me know. I'll send them to you. So that was really kind. I mean, she's never met us. She didn't have to do that. We didn't get to meet her in person, but and then another nice lady from New Mexico State, I can't remember, she messaged us or something. And was like, oh, hope to meet y'all. But anyway, it's just like it wasn't like that in the Southland. So I think that's been really cool.
It really wasn't. I agree. I think this is the guy. Is this the guy? Was that him?
Yeah, it had to be. Yep.
Had to be, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, there was two deputy ADs, and I was like, the first one I clicked on, I was like, that didn't look like him.
I think I remember him saying his name was Chet.
Okay, yeah, because this is not the guy. For sure. No, yeah, so it has to be Chet. That's hilarious. Okay, so we're gonna have to find Chet on
Twitter.
Chet, what a fucking name. Oh yeah, there he is. There's a Twitter name. Oh, I didn't click on it. I wasn't quick enough.
All right.
I'll do it after we're done. But anyway, so yeah, he came up and met us. I think so I forgot. My last grievance was I love you, Southwest, for your cheap airfare and your 2 double bags that we can get. But F you on losing 2 of my SFA shirts.
Oh, have they ever followed up on that or no? Not yet.
Not yet. So we get to Vegas and I noticed that my zipper is open on my suitcase. And I was like, okay, not really thinking much of it. Maybe I got searched, whatever happens sometimes when you're flying. So I just closed it and we went on our merry way. Get to the hotel, open my suitcase to take some of the stuff out to hang it up so that it's not wrinkly or getting more wrinkly. And I noticed that there are multiple SFA shirts of mine that I brought to wear throughout the week gone. My Lady Jack shirt that I purchased, I bought a Lady Jack shirt, a homemade one that said like I Heart Lady Jacks on it, Lady Jack basketball, gone. My Under Armour SFA basketball shirt that I bought for Kansas, gone. So yeah, I was not pleased. So that's why I had to rewear a couple shirts throughout the week, and then I ended up having to buy a Las Vegas shirt and a WAC conference shirt just so I would have other clothes to wear. Because again, a lot of the stuff that I brought were like cute clothes for like going out and like sightseeing and like doing other stuff, not clothes to wear to the SFA game, because I brought those separately. Like those were separate clothes, but then I didn't have those to wear. So was not pleased. I haven't heard back from them. I don't know if they're going to be found or returned. I have no idea. At least I have a whole nother season in order for me to get 2 new basketball shirts. But I was really mad because I bought that damn Lady Jack shirt that was specifically handmade for the Lady Jacks games, and I couldn't even wear it.
I know, and you hadn't even worn it yet.
No, I hadn't even tried it on.
Yeah, that sucks. Meanwhile, y'all know I brought enough clothing for like 2 weeks worth, 2 or 3 outfits a day. Especially if I mix and matched. I could have spent a whole month in Vegas.
You could have. You had a shit ton of clothing, and
I just didn't wear hardly.
I know, and I didn't even. There was a couple outfits that I brought that I didn't wear either because I brought them for like going out. I was like, I can't wear this just to walk around Vegas. Like it's a cute outfit to wear to a nightclub or to a bar or something. And so I was angry at myself because I was like, I should have packed more just like cute regular t-shirts and not relied so much on my SFA shit. Whatever, because I ended up losing it. Anyway, whatever. Anyway. It's okay. It's all right. But anyway, so moving forward, obviously we have the girls that are playing in the NCAA tournament. Their first game is tomorrow. They're playing in Tucson. So for the people that were able to go, love it. Congrats. Hope you have a great time. Represent us well. They're playing tomorrow at 6:30, I believe. Yeah. And we're playing North Carolina, so the Tar Heels. And then you can watch that, I believe, on ESPN News or
it might be on like TBS or something. Hold on, I'll look.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what channel it's on. Jacqueline's gonna look it up. And then of course the guys are playing tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 against in the CBI, the College Basketball Invitational. And we are the number 4 seed. We're playing UNC Asheville at 1:30 on Flow Sports, and that makes me want to absolutely vom. Because Flow Sports sucks. Anyway.
We haven't had the best experience using Flow Sports in the past, but my cousin is now working for them, so hopefully it'll be good. And if not, we know who to talk to. So I'm very confused because in the ESPN app for the ladies' game tomorrow, it says ESPN.
That's news, ESPN News.
Oh, but that's weird. That's just weird. Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be on ESPN News. I had read it earlier, and I was like, okay, that's ESPN News. ESPN is ESPN News. So that'll be on tomorrow. And then, yeah, so there's watch parties around for both or for just the girls' games. I don't think they're doing any watch parties for the guys. But if you want to watch the guys, again, they're on Flow Sports tomorrow. Have fun with that. We're going to try and play it at the damn brewery. I don't know.
I can't remember how much it is, but I think you do have to pay for it online to watch that.
I'm sure you do.
Can't remember how much it was last time we had to do that.
Yeah. I hate Flow Sports so much. I cannot. Fuck you, CBI. Anyway, so here's to both the Lady Jacks and the Lumberjacks winning tomorrow. Hopefully we get some dubs and they keep dancing and they keep playing. Cheers.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. So that is it. That is the recap of our Vegas trip and the game. Depending on how the games go tomorrow, we may have one more episode or we may have a few more episodes. Just depends on how the games go and how we do. So it's up in the air. Hopefully we get the win and we keep playing, keep dancing, and keep going. Of course, we'll be watching the Lady Jacks and talking about them as well. But, you know, we're obviously a guys podcast, so we'll be focusing mainly on them. So fingers crossed. Love it. All right, guys. Hope you have a great day, great weekend. Watch the Jacks and the Lady Jacks tomorrow. One on Flow Sports, one on ESPN News, both at different times. So there's no crossover or overlap. You don't have to worry about that. And as always, let's act some Jacks.
With Alex and Jax.